A farmer rescued two orphan bear cubs and raised them in his home. As the cubs grew up and had their own offspring, the man now lives peacefully on his farm surrounded by a large family of bears. From early childhood, Michael was surrounded by wild nature, captivated by its beauty and mysteries. His parents, ordinary workers at a local factory, often took him to the forest, where he first encountered bear tracks. Little Michael was fascinated by these mighty animals, spending hours examining their tracks and imagining what real bears looked like. At school, Michael was a quiet and thoughtful child, but his passion for nature and animals made his eyes light up. He could talk for hours about his forest observations. His interest in wild animals took shape in his early years, watching them from afar in the taiga. After finishing school, Michael chose to stay in his hometown instead of moving to the big city. He got a job as a forest ranger's assistant, allowing him to stay close to nature and animals. Every day, he walked through the forest, observing its inhabitants and recording his findings in his journal. More than 10 years ago, an event occurred that changed Michael's life forever. During one of his walks in the taiga, he found a little bear cub whose mother had been shot by poachers. The cub was very weak and needed urgent help. Without hesitation, Michael decided to take in the cub. He knew that the little bear wouldn't survive alone in the forest. Michael named the bear cub Misha and began to take care of him. He fed the cub, treated him, and cared for him like his own child. Misha quickly became attached to his savior. Good nutrition, love, and care did their job. The cub grew quickly and soon turned into a large and powerful bear. When Misha turned 4 years old, Michael agreed to take in a young female bear named Masha, who had lost her home after the local zoo went bankrupt. The bears quickly bonded, and soon Misha and Masha had offspring. They became parents of 2 bear cubs. Thus, Michael acquired long-awaited grandchildren. The birth of the tiny cubs was one of the most pleasant and exciting moments in his life. With the appearance of the bear family, Michael's life changed dramatically. Now he had to take care not only of himself, but also of his enormous wild wards. The man began to equip his farm so that it would be comfortable not only for him, but also for his new friends. Michael built spacious enclosures where the bears could feel comfortable. He took care of the entire bear family, feeding them and monitoring their health. He even remembered the birthday of each bear and celebrated them regularly. But the most amazing thing about the whole story is how he managed to communicate with these wild animals. Michael learned to understand the bears' habits, moods, and desires. He talked to them as equals. The bears in turn recognized him as their leader and treated him with love and respect. At the same time, Michael didn't want the bears to become spoiled pets, so every day he took them for walks in the taiga, away from civilization. The animals played, bathed, ate berries in season, and experienced real forest life. Michael carefully observed their behavior, making important notes about the lives of these amazing creatures. Michael's farm was named Bear's Den in honor of his unusual wards. The news of a man living with bears quickly spread throughout the region. Many considered Michael crazy, but there were also those who admired his courage and kindness. Some people categorically stated that bears should only live in the wild and criticized Michael for keeping the animals in captivity. But the man patiently explained that many of his wards simply wouldn't survive in the wild. Nevertheless, Michael did everything possible to ensure that the growing cubs became independent and well adapted to the wild. To achieve this, he spent several hours a day with them in the forest. Recording some of his unusual walks on camera, Michael's goal was to create living conditions for the bear family as close to their natural habitat as possible. His home is located in the remote taiga, and the bears are only familiar with civilization through encounters with tourists and journalists visiting the farm. Local authorities initially wanted to forbid Michael from keeping bears on the farm, but after seeing how well he cared for the animals, they allowed him to continue his unique activity. Thus began a new chapter in Michael's life. The life of a man living with a whole family of bears. This is truly a unique case of a man living under the same roof with several dangerous predators. Watching the amazing walks with the bear family, many admire Michael's courage and calmness, as well as his ability to communicate with such unpredictable wild animals. Michael and his bears became real internet stars. His videos and stories spread online, attracting attention from people around the world. With growing popularity, journalists and curious tourists began to visit Michael's farm. He told them about his life, about the bears, and the importance of preserving nature. Despite his increasing fame, Michael remained a humble person. He continued to live in his small house next to the bear enclosures, caring for his wards every day. He always personally fed the bears, cleaned their enclosures, and treated the animals if they were sick. Of course, Michael's life was full of dangers. Although the bears were attached to him, they remained wild animals. There were times when the bears became aggressive, and Michael had to show all his courage and composure to calm them down and defuse the situation. One day, one of the bears, during play, miscalculated his strength and seriously injured Michael with his sharp claws. But even after this incident, the persistent man didn't give up his work. He said he understood the risks of his job and was ready to accept them for the sake of the animal's well-being. Over the years, Michael became a real legend in the local area. His farm turned into a popular place for ecotourism. Many people came to see the man who lived with a whole family of bears. Of course, over several years of working with bears, Michael faced serious financial difficulties. Keeping such a number of large predators required significant funds. Michael often invested all his savings in the development of the farm and the care of the bears, but he never complained, considering it his calling and the bears his best friends. Michael paid special attention to the health of his wards. He regularly conducted medical examinations involving experienced veterinarians. However, mostly Michael used folk methods of treating animals, some of which were really unique. Michael loved walking with the bears in the forest the most. He enjoyed watching the bears' behavior in their natural habitat. The farmer could spend hours watching them catch fish in the river, gather berries and nuts, and climb trees. These observations helped him better understand the needs of his pets and create more comfortable conditions for them on the farm. Dozens of hours of video on Michael's YouTube channel show how amazingly the bears and cubs interact with each other, while he accompanies everything that happens with fascinating commentary. He films their games, quarrels, and reconciliations, showing that these animals have complex social behavior and emotions. Videos with the little cubs are especially touching. Michael records the cubs as they take their first steps, learn to climb trees, swim in the forest lake beside him, and catch fish. These videos touch viewers and help them see bears as amazing and beautiful creatures instead of scary predators. On his YouTube channel, Michael also clears up false beliefs about bears. He explains their behavior, advises on how to act when meeting a bear in the forest, and shows that bears are usually not aggressive without a reason. However, he also stresses that bears are not like harmless pets. Michael feels truly happy and free when he is in the taiga with his children, the bears. He continues to live on his farm, surrounded by his beloved bears. Every day, he is grateful for the chance to live his dream and devote his life to protecting these incredible animals. His story inspires many people, showing that love for nature and animals can overcome any obstacles, and even huge predators can become like family. What do you think of this story? Let us know in the comments section. Thank you.